Uh, Anyways, this season is coming to an end, and I wanted to talk about one thing which I really wanted to discuss after seeing my past few videos, which I've seen put in analysis on how Mourinho sets up his team, whether we can win trophies. We were top of the table 3 months before, and now we're talking about a different scenario, whether he's going to stay in this job or whether he's going to be sacked soon, whether he's going to be given a chance again, whether some players are going to leave, whether we're going to sell a lot of deadwood. What is the club going to do after 20 years? What is that strategy of getting the players? It all depends. It all depends upon what is going to happen in these nine crucial games and a cup final. And as I stated in my post, which I've explained why, what's the future of Mourinho, I just want to give a brief idea about why I think he needs to be out. I personally think why he needs to be out. The first thing is that look, Mourinho is a really good manager, really great manager. He's achieved a lot with top quality teams, with teams even not with top quality, bringing them winning the Champions League with Inter Milan, Porto, uh, and then winning the treble. He won the treble with Inter Milan. He won the Champions League with this with Porto. He won the Premier League three times with Chelsea. So he's a proven manager. He's a proven commodity. Then we're asking him why is he not working in the clubs recently against with Manchester United and now with Spurs. It totally shows that I'm not blaming the board for how they are managing the surroundings, how they want to financially manage their club, what is their goals or ideas. But I'm just this is just a question of if you want to hire a manager, if you're hiring a manager of that quality caliber who has been proven is a proven quantity, then you need to work with the resources. And if you don't have the resources, don't hire that type of manager. Find managers who work with your segment, with your area. What do you call that? With your demographic area, you can say like that. Yeah. So hire managers of that sort. If you can't work in that style, or if you want to work in that style, either it's going to be that Mourinho changes his way. That's not going to happen. Our managers has their own style of managing. They have their own style of how they demand players. They have their own style of managing the dressing room. He has his own tactics. Each manager is different from each another. You can't compare anyone to anyone. So I'm not doing that factor. I'm just going to go why Mourinho needs to be out. So these are the things which needs to be considered before we hire a manager. We just don't randomly hire. And I'm pretty sure the people who are bored, who are above me, who know better football knowledge than us, whereas we're just giving our views, might have thought about this, but it doesn't reflect on what they're doing. It's just going haphazard. Uh, yes, sometimes you tend to you want to get the best managers and you just want to get the best out of them. Like obviously when you want to be you if as a club as Spurs has not achieved anything, has not won any trophies, you want to bring in Mourinho so that mentally players understand that this guy wants to win. So if you listen to him, it needs to work. And and players buy his knowledge, and a lot of players work for him, and he has a lot of agents, he has a lot of connections where players want to work for Mourinho. And then we have seen players like Reguilon wanted to work for Mourinho. So he has that power when he has that brand of winning stuff. When you start to winning stuff of a higher quality, he has the brand of you can get the brand of getting good players where agents get connections with you, where players demand to play for you. So that's when you build your brand, when you start to perform really well at a higher stage. So considering all into that factors, coming to why Mourinho won't succeed, and I'm not saying won't succeed. I'll be really happy if he wins a lot of trophies and if he changes his fortunes in his 9 games and his finals. That's what I want to happen. I really trust in him, but sometimes yes, he makes mistakes. He There's a lot to question about what happened in the Zagreb game because why he played Sissoko on wings, why he played Doherty against Arsenal. Yes, I'm not saying he's a perfect coach. I'm not saying he's a perfect coach. He's not. I'm again saying he's not a prime Mourinho compared to now. There's a lot of things he needs to change in terms of football wise, which I'm not any expert on, but I can just give reviews on it. There's a lot of things to change. That's there for sure. He's not the perfect Mourinho. I would not say that. But considering that as a factor, we as a club financially, we need to finish in top four. In terms of how we build the stadium, we have a lot of debts to convert. We need top four. So we need a top four and cup final. Okay, I'm not. I'm. That's nothing to do anything financially, and it's nothing going to be motivated. A Carabao Cup, yes, it'll be. I'm not saying we don't need to win that cup. We need to win that cup. It builds up a trophy cabinet which is empty. Yes, correct. But top four is important. Top four is the most important thing we need to get. That's the most important thing. If he can achieve that, I don't see anything of sacking Mourinho. He can be given a shot. The reason why, because Mourinho isn't a player who works as a project. That's how I'm trying to hint that he can't work as a project manager because his style of methods. He wants a certain certain players where he thinks can work for his style of method. Doesn't need to be. It doesn't need to be uh something like 120, 180, but at least 50, 60, 70 million. It's still costly, but yes, that's how the market is. He, or his players, the players which he wants to demand is of a certain range of a price where clubs can't afford to give him. And they try to find different alternatives. So when you try to find different alternatives for Mourinho, which he can't work with, he can't get the best out of them. You can let's see, for example, in our club, he has high caliber players like Son and Kane. He can get the best out of them because yeah, he knows that scent what they are good at. He is a manager who can bring the best out of the best out of the best players. He's not a player who can bring a Eric Dyer, a Davinson Sanchez who's been struggling to change a system for them separately, to motivate them, to bring the best out of them, to take out that defensive flaws. And yeah, he's not that set of players, and that's how he's been working from Porto, from Inter Milan. He has three crucial players for his team to just develop his team and then won the treble. Why he didn't succeed in United? He didn't succeed, but still he got trophies. He got a Carabao Cup. He still got the Europa League with them, but he didn't succeed in United because he demanded a defender, top quality defender, which he couldn't get. They tried to find alternatives. It did not work. He got sacked. It's the same mistake which is happening again and again. And Mourinho, as a manager, needs to understand that he needs to find a club where he can find better suitors. Whether this was being agreed in the start before COVID, because he was hired before COVID, and Daniel Levy as a chairman say that yes, I will back you with the resources that you have. We can see that in the documentary where before the COVID started, before the summer, that's January window, we went on to get Steven Bergwijn. We went on to get a young player who of top quality. Yes, which is 27, 30 million. So I thought, yeah, we need to work like that. The players which he wants, the players where he can send, he's a player where he can work with, it starts. So I thought it started from that. So I thought, okay, there's a building which is happening, regardless of wherever you finish in the this thing, it happens. Regardless of that, he has been given 67 million this summer of Reguilon and Højbjerg as his center of players, his players, the players which he wanted. Gareth Bale was something wanted by the chairman Daniel Levy. Yes, Mourinho sanctioned it because he thought, okay, he can be some sort of squad player, he can try to motivate. Yes, he's not played a lot of game time, he's not been there. He's not. We don't know what to expect from Bale. Yeah, correct. I agree with that. But he was given some amount of two players where he is worked given and he's worked with it. Doherty was something he might have asked, which went for a flop. Yeah, not all players can be a hit, but considering that he has got the best out of two players out of them, and he's working and has been working really well in our system in terms of a left back is improved, in terms of this thing is improved. What he asked more was a centre back, which we couldn't demand, and that needs to be answered by the board. Why we went for a Bale, regardless of a centre back. Yes, as fans, we are excited to get Gareth Bale, but as a board, as a chairman, you need to understand that if Mourinho is asking for a centre back, push for that. We don't want Bale. We don't want Bale. Yes, we'll be happy if we'll be happy of Bale, but if he's asking two centre backs and then you can get Bale, then get him. Just don't push for something which is there. I thought he was happy with the centre backs. He was happy with Sanchez, with Dyer, because a lot of news and a lot of press was saying that Mourinho wants to play Eric Dyer as his top centre back. He thinks he can get the best out of them. So I thought, okay, this is the defense he's trusting in. He's trusting in that he can get the best out of them because he knows that they have quality. They have quality before the season started. First half of the season, it was panning out really well. It was working out really well. So I was really confident that, okay, these players are playing counter-attacking football. His style of football is working. We are top of the table. I don't give a shit whether we play exciting football, regardless he wins trophies. That's what. That's what every fan wants. That's a common goal we want. Regardless of whatever football he plays, which people don't like it for some reason, uh, because it parks the bus, it's boring, all that factors comes into account. But regardless of whether he wins the trophy, regardless of whether he whatever style he plays, he wins the trophy. He's not able to deliver that. He's not able to deliver that. It's not been working. We have seen from our defensive issues. It's not working. We can't rely on defenders. Yes, us this players we have a lot of deadwood in the place. We need to move on. But he as a manager can't get the best out of them, and that's not his style. That's not how he manages. So these are the factors which is hinting him. So now, what as a club, as our objective, this 9 games, what does it show? Whether he stay or not. Top four is a commodity in terms of financially, first thing, and players like Harry Kane, Son to actually be motivated to play because it's a Champions League. We can given a chance and reason because Mourinho can motivate these players to stay in the club because he knows that he can get top quality players if he finishes top four. Because financially we can lower players from other clubs and get top quality players, not caliber players. There are difference between top quality players and caliber players. Top quality players who have been proven commodity, have been playing the Champions League, have been scoring goals, have been assisting. They know the game really well. They are the top quality players who go for 60, 70 million. So he can load 2, 3 players to come. The board can do that if they finish top four. If we don't, then it's players like Kane and Son is not going to stay. I'm being really honest. We don't finish top four. Players like Kane and Son is not going to stay because they don't want to play in the Europa League. They're age of 28. They're 28 years old, and they want to see a career where they can go win trophies. I'm not saying it's wrong. They've been playing for a huge chunk over here. It's good for them to move on. So let them move on. But then it becomes a project. It becomes a project where we need to work. It's a project where we need to work. So Jose Mourinho, if you see his stats, where we see his wherever he's gone, he doesn't work as a project. I'm not saying that he can't work as a project manager, but the history says he can't work as a project manager. That's what I feel. That's what I feel. So he's been paid a huge chunk of 15 million salary. That also needs to be taken into account. So we need to pay out his payout fees for another remaining of his contract. So that means the club needs to learn with this thing. So these are the two things which they need to look on. They can't keep on being playing in the Europa League. So if it doesn't prove himself that he can't finish in top four, I don't see the club putting him in the job by paying so much that he can't achieve it. They'll try to find better options. Not better options. Nagelsmann won't. It's not going to be that much overpriced. He's going to be costly, but not going to be overpriced. But he can work as a project manager, but because he's proven in Leipzig, where he can bring the best out of the youngsters, even if they're average. Leipzig is, I'm to be serious, I consider them as an average team in the Bundesliga, but they're still finishing top four. They're still finishing top four where they're finishing Champions League. So managers like, I'm not saying Nagelsmann, it can be Eric Ten Hag from Ajax or Nagelsmann. It depends, but what they try to demand after that all depends. So if we don't finish top four, this is what the club will take the direction, and I'm confidently sure because we're paying a huge chunk of money to him, and he can't finish top four. Then question rise, but what do we go as a club? Do we back him or not? If if the board backs him to be a project manager, it's going to be a huge thing because players like Eric Dyer, Davinson Sanchez, Musa Sissoko, Harry Winks. How much of this deadwood we're going to sell? How much of the deadwood we're going to sell? How many people are going to be attracted to buy this player? Whether there's a market to sell them, because Daniel Levy is going to find a solution where he can say 15 million, 20 million for this players. So where do we get this players? Where do we get this players? Where do we sell? So these are the things the board needs to answer. So as of now, 9 games. I see 9 games. 9 games, right? 9 games, top four he stays, top four he doesn't stay. Simple. And these are the things we need to be looking into account. Yes, it's not good to be a Spurs fan, you can say, because for so many years, no trophies, nothing, or not can be delivered by the end of the season, a cup final, which can be delivered. Personally, I feel we'll see how it happens because it's Manchester City. I'm not going to say anything because whatever I say happens, it happens. But yes, it happens. But we need to see for the long-term success of this thing. As a board, to be serious, our board members failed each and every time from each and every manager to give them the best. So board is something where I give a 0 on 10 of what they're doing. Okay, a 2 on 10 or 3 on 10 because they try to find ways to finish in the Champions League, building stadium, bringing some youngsters. These are the stuff which is happening. But that mentality of winning, where they have that aggression of okay, fine, I don't mind making 5 or 10 million losses if I get the best players into the club. That drive is not. I'm not seeing it. Where we go and if we have given much more commitment, we could have gotten Skriniar. We could have just snapped Skriniar. We're going with that 35 million. Jack Grealish, 2018, we could have get it. So that fight is not there from our board. So that's what I hate. If you want to say, Levy, I'm not a stubborn person. I'm very ambitious. If that's where your ambition comes. Your ambition comes where you try your best to get the best players into your club, regardless of whatever finances you have. Because if we get these players, we can achieve where we want. We didn't see that. And nowadays you can see club owners are becoming top club owners are very rich. You can see City are very rich. They don't care of there's nothing called as financial where they think about making profit. Profit is not something which is running over there. For them is trophies. For us, we can't look at that. Our club direction is something different. So yes, Daniel Levy needs to take a huge slack, but as supporters, as fans, we need to understand how our club is run. Our club is not run by some 400, 500 million top owner where he doesn't give a shit about the profit, regardless he wants to deliver trophies. That's not our club direction. That's not our club philosophy because we don't have that of managers. We're making losses. Yes, slack needs to be given because he's not getting that last inch to get the top quality players. So I'm not supporting him, but I'm saying that we need to look differently compared to other clubs. No trophies for 20 years, one trophy in 20 years. Not good enough because we don't get the best players. And our scouting network is horrible. Steve Hitchen needs to leave. I don't see any good players which is coming into our team. Our scouting network has been really horrible. That's why we are not finding success because we can't keep on financially, which Levy has said, we can't financially go and spend money, 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 money. We need to get some youngsters from our academy, and it's happening now. I'm really happy. Oliver Skip, Jaffet Tanganga, a lot of youngsters coming out from academy. Harvey White, Dane Scarlett. These are some academies coming up, good futures prospects. So we don't need to think about filling in that position, but as a board, these guys are failing of getting the best out of each manager. And it's very, really sad to see in that position. 9 games, all we need to see what happens.